Welcome back to Bunker Wednesday. Ho ho ho, haven't we got a show for you today? The show where we deep dive into the world of bunkers, nuclear preparedness and Cold War culture. This week, folks, we're looking into a brand new nuclear war film called The Days Ahead, released in 2025. It's already been compared to the 1984 drama Threads. But does it really measure up? Or is it just a watered down version designed not to scare the public? Let's dig in. In 1984, the BBC released Threads. For anyone who's seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. This wasn't entertainment, it was a warning. It showed a nuclear strike on Sheffield from the 4-minute warning through to the decades after. It covered everything from the blast, radiation burns, food shortages, government collapse, a nuclear winter, and even the breakdown of language towards the end. Threads is still regarded as the most terrifying, accurate portrayals of a nuclear war. Brutal, graphic, relentless, no hope, no escape. Just survival in its rawest form. It traumatised an entire generation, and to this day it's used in classrooms, military lectures, civil defence debates, as an example of what would really happen. Gotta love a cup of tea, folks. Indeed. Let's fast forward to today. The days ahead, folks. As we're seeing up there on the screen, got some stills of it. This is a British indie film that tells a story of 3 linked parts: stranded, prepared and post. Unlike Threads, this film doesn't show the big mushroom clouds over the cities and the mass panic in the streets. It's very intimate. Smaller groups of people facing the impossible choices. You see the office workers trapped in confusion, families trying to ration food and water, and the bunker stocked with supplies. It's a quieter kind of horror, and less about spectacle and more about tension. The sound of a radio broadcast, the crackle of looters outside, the silence of the power failures. That's where the fear lies. But after watching this, I've got to say something, folks. It felt very watered down. There was people casually walking round in the streets after the blast. No sense of true chaos. There was no 4-minute warning. This was sort of a huge omission for the British setting. They had their phones which started sounding the alarm like we did the other day with the national alarm testing. And it goes off and it's like, oh God, is this real? Is this real? I don't know what's going on. And all of a sudden the bomb hits and it's like, whoa, where's the warning there? Obviously you've got the big radar stations. Is it Farlingdale? Which would detect incoming ballistic missiles, and you'll be able to report to the public and give them a good old warning there, folks. Not a 30-second warning. So that upset me a bit. It was like, that doesn't really ring true, does it, folks? Another thing that made me laugh. There's a bit in the prepared part of it where the father, his daughter, says about he's got tonsillitis. Oh no, we'll have to get some paracetamol. There was no paracetamol in their fallout room with all the, first aid kit and all that stuff. So he decides to go to his place of work, where he used to work, folks, all geared up and that with a mask on and stuff like that, and get some paracetamol from his work and then bring it back. And then paracetamol is probably one of the first things you'd have in your fallout room, folks, for example. I just thought that was a bit weird. Why make that up? They could have made something better. And there was looters that came across as like friendly neighbours, and it just didn't come across as like your zombie, alcoholic, drugged up, in the streets looter, which would be the case, folks. The more of the case, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be like, give me your rations. They'd be like, knife and that, and they'd be grabbing you and smashing windows and stuff like that. There was nothing like that, really. Not a lot. Very tame indeed. It doesn't feel like it was raw terror, unlike the Threads captured. which Fred's is one of my favourite films on nuclear war. Really does ring true, folks. If you've never seen it, go and watch it. So why was it? What was the why was it toned down? A few reasons stand out here, folks. The budget. This is an indie film. Simply, they can't afford it. Burnt corpses, mass chaos, ruined cities, like Fred's had. They had a very small budget, so they couldn't really go all out on that. Even CGI, that costs money, doesn't it, really? Audience sensitivity. A full on Fred's today might be unwatchable for many. A softer touch makes it easier to digest. Well, yeah, but let's not forget that nuclear war is very, very bad. And say if like Putin or Trump and that gets to see a full-on Fred's movie, a new one, then that obviously makes them think we can't do this. You know, a film like Days Ahead just seems like, oh yeah, we can chuck a nuclear weapon on Britain and we'll be all right. We can survive it, folks. No, there's no chaos, and you know, no one's attacking anyone really. You know, just number 9. You know, just wants some food. But in true, it would be more medieval type, wouldn't it? It'd be like, you know, people, groups, gangs, really, really going for it, folks. Very scary indeed. Because the collapse of the government and the collapse of law and order. So yeah, scary. Focus on psychology. The filmmakers seem less interested in nuclear science and more interested in human relationships. Who trusts who gets let into the bunker, and how prepared people actually are. So let's dig into the facts here, folks. In reality, Britain did have a 4-minute warning system in the Cold War. People would have had a short time to sort of take cover. Something completely absent in the Days Ahead. Civil defence planning revolved around Protect and Survive campaign, advising families to whitewash their windows, build an inner refuge from doors and sandbags, and stock up on food and water, and yes, medicines, folks, and stuff like that. That's the medicine that was absent from the fallout room in the Days Ahead. I don't know. Might be just me, but... And the radiation, fallout sickness is brutal. Vomiting, hair loss, bleeding, infections. Fred showed it all. The day after mostly implies it. So what does this mean? Threads remains a definitive nightmare. It shows everything. The environmental collapse, the government breakdown, and decades long aftermath. The day after is more personal. It asks, how would you react in the first hours? If what? Or what if you had supplies but no medicine? What if strangers came knocking at the door, folks, asking, can we take refuge? It doesn't terrify you in the way Fred's did, but it does make you think about your preparedness on a human level. In the end, the two films complement each other. Threads is a historical warning, brutal, accurate and unforgettable. The Days Ahead is a modern reflection, toned down, but intimate, relatable and thought-provoking. Do we still need another Threads to shock people in the awareness? Or is it a gentler approach, more effective today? Well, that's the real question, folks. You've been watching Bunker Wednesday, folks. Yes, as we always try and get out every Wednesday, folks, all different things. It could be one day, it could be a review on some Cold War gear. Or, let's review a film. Got to review these soon. S6 gas mask, an old classic Cold War item there, folks. Right, and yeah, Have you seen The Days Ahead yet? It's on Prime, folks. And Threads, I believe it is on YouTube. You can watch a lower quality version on there. So yeah, thanks very much for your support. Until next time, stay safe, stay prepared, more to the point, and keep on watching the skies. So we'll see you soon, folks. Thank you very much indeed.